We often associate language with everyday social interaction, people talking over the noise of a crowded station, expressing immediate thoughts, emotions, and basic desires. In an academic setting, however, this definition is insufficient. Language is the primary medium of human thought, the framework that shapes how we perceive and organize information. Abstract concepts like gravity or democracy do not exist in a vacuum. A student cannot store these ideas without the specific vocabulary required to construct them. If that underlying linguistic structure is missing, the ability to internalize the concept collapses. Since all subject content is mediated through vocabulary, every teacher, whether instructing physics, history, or mathematics, is a teacher of language. To understand the cognitive load this places on a learner, we must look at how this system operates at its most basic level. Ferdinand de Saussure's structuralist model defines language as a system of signs. Saussure divided signs into two parts. The signified is the actual object, independent of any name. The signifier is the specific word used to represent it. This bond is completely arbitrary. There is no natural connection between the object and the sounds used to name it. Because these connections lack inherent logic, a student cannot deduce a word's meaning through reasoning alone. They must internalize the shared social conventions of their speech community. While individual words are arbitrary, the way they combine is governed by strict phonological, morphological, and syntactic rules. Mastering a new academic subject requires a student to successfully map thousands of these arbitrary, rigidly governed signifiers to entirely new abstract concepts. This raises a biological question. How does a child's brain acquire and process such a complex, arbitrary system so quickly and uniformly? For decades, the dominant explanation was Leonard Bloomfield's behaviorist view of language acquisition. Bloomfield argued that language is a habit learned through a continuous chain of stimulus, response, and environmental reinforcement. Noam Chomsky rejected this model. He identified what he called the poverty of the stimulus. The daily language children hear is fragmented and full of errors. This limited input cannot explain how quickly children master complex grammar. Instead, Chomsky proposed a nativist theory. Humans are born with a biologically pre-wired language acquisition device, or LAD. This innate mechanism contains universal grammar. It processes messy environmental input and allows a child to generate an infinite number of novel sentences. While Chomsky demonstrated that the capacity for language is innate, the specialized technical vocabulary required for school subjects is not. It must be actively taught to be acquired. In a practical educational environment, these theories converge in the principle of language across the curriculum. Every academic discipline operates using its own specific linguistic register and technical vocabulary. This creates a heavy cognitive load. Students must decode a new technical register at the same time they are trying to conceptualize the abstract idea it describes. This challenge is standard in multilingual societies, where the language of the textbook or instruction often differs from the student's home language. A common professional misconception is that a student's everyday conversational fluency translates directly to an ability to comprehend academic texts. Jim Cummins' model plots a rapidly rising curve for BICS, conversational fluency developed within 2 years. A second, slower curve represents CALP, academic proficiency taking 5 to 7 years. The interdependence hypothesis shows mother tongue proficiency translates to support school language learning. Weak academic language proficiency often masks true subject mastery. A student might fail a science assessment, not because they misunderstand the science, but because the language barrier obstructed their ability to reason. Human thought relies on a framework spanning from Saussure's individual signs to the universal grammar Chomsky identified in the mind. This system is the definitive cognitive tool used to mediate reasoning and problem-solving across every subject. When we replace a child's home language entirely through subtractive multilingualism, we strip away their foundational cognitive scaffolding. Educators must instead embrace additive multilingualism, using the home language as a bridge to master specialized academic registers. As an educator, you provide the specialized registers students use to categorize and manipulate their environment. By teaching the language of a discipline, you provide the tools for a student to perceive its reality.